Okay, well, I guess that was bad.
All right, that's a perfect
Is
picture.
that a knight from a chessboard? That's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
good, Mr. B.
Oh,
Is
it's
that a
supposed to be.
Cheeto
It's supposed to. Yeah. It's supposed to be a face.
Oh!
This came-
It's a knight.
Wow.
That's pretty tight.
That intro was the keeper of the year. I'm gonna keep it. Keep my word. All right, here we go. The discriminant. Discriminant. What word do we think of when we hear discriminant? Discrimination. Okay, so that's kind of like having the idea of what something is, like on a preconceived notion. But what we can do with discriminant math-wise is know how many solutions, find the number of solutions of x's. Okay, so we don't even have to work all this out. You know, we had this complicated quadratic formula here. We have the quadratic formula. See it? Yeah, you can see it. We wouldn't even have to work it all out to find how many solutions. You can think of it as discriminate on it, basically finding the number of solutions using this process. All right? That's kind of the very basic intro to it. Don't worry if that doesn't click yet. All right. The key to this, it allows us to find the number of solutions for x, which are the what? What are the solutions for x again? We talked about it yesterday. X-intercepts. Let's go and fill that in one more time. Right? It tells us how many times this graph, this parabola, is going to cross that x-axis. So basically, this is going to allow us to know that right off the bat without having to work that whole problem out and actually find a solution. All right. Remember, we find A, B, and C. We did this so much back in September, October. We find A, B, and C from the form of the equation we've been dealing with, that standard form. So if I just had one here that was 3x squared plus 2x minus 1, what's my A value? 3, what's my B value? 2, what's my C value?
-1.
Negative 1. Negative 1. So we know how to pull out the A, B, and C. That's easy, right? All we have to do with it is input it into the discriminant formula here. B squared, we square the B, right? We minus 4AC. The A value goes there, the C value goes there, we multiply it. Kind of like what we did over here. It's very related. I put that for a reason. Pretty simple, right? There's nothing to solve for. You plug in some numbers, you work them out, you multiply all these first, you square that, and then you combine them, you subtract them. Pretty easy. Interesting. So if the discriminant is positive, it's positive, we're going to end up with 2 real solutions. I want you to just kind of have first just the memory of what this is talking about. I want you to go ahead and make a graph then that has the parabola going under the x-axis, and we have 2 real solutions right there. 2 solutions. 2 x-intercepts. All right. This is one of the questions that I'm going to ask later. So why would a positive discriminant give us 2 real solutions? I want you to think about that right now. And maybe it'll click when we go to the others. Okay, fine. All right. 1 real solution. We get 1 real solution when that discriminant is equal to 0. When it's equal to 0, we get 1 real solution. And that's where we have the vertex is right on the x-axis. 1 solution. Now, what goes in this box where we're going to have no real solutions? And who could tell me why? Yeah, Jair, what do you think?
Negative because you can't. There's no negatives on it, like graph or like solutions.
I like the last part you said there, that there won't be any real solution. There's another reason why we can't have that.
Isn't it because of imaginary number?
Why would it be an imaginary number?
Because it's negative in the root.
Right.
Imaginary number.
That is the key, and you know it's completely correct what you said. So looking at this, where is the discriminant? Where is the discriminant? Where does it come from? Is it a part of this guy? Where's that? B squared minus 4ac. Does anybody see that within this quadratic? Where is it? Under the root. It's everything under here, right? The discriminant, because we're going to use this formula to find our solutions, what happens under the root is going to tell us how many solutions we can get. So let's look at this. If it's zero, right, all this becomes 0, then it's just negative b plus or minus 0. There's only going to be one thing that's going to work out because the plus or minus is kind of canceled out because it's minus plus or minus 0. Okay. If it's positive right here, we end up with a positive root, and then we're going to have a positive or negative value. So we're going to branch it. That's why we're going to have 2 solutions. No solutions if this ends up being negative, then what happens? Stretching?
I had a question.
Okay.
So first we'll get ax squared plus bx plus c, then we get the a, b, and c, and then we implement it in that formula.
We are going to learn and play with this next week, but right now what we're doing is we're just looking to see what happens inside the root.
Okay.
Because what happens inside the root is going to tell us how many solutions we can get. So that's you kind of answer both questions from your question.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
Two answers in one. All right. So go ahead and make a little graph for this one. You're going to make no real solutions. That's when it's up off the x-axis. There's no place where it crosses the x-axis. That's the basics. The discriminant again comes from the quadratic formula. It's under the root, which is going to tell us how many solutions we can get. Positive discriminant. Why does it have 2 solutions again? Why does the positive have 2? This was already said, but I want to just reiterate. Okay. Anybody else? All right. So the question again was, why does a positive discriminant have 2 real solutions? It's related to this equation here. It's related to our formula, quadratic. Think about it first, just one more second. Melissa? Okay. I was excited. Yes. That's okay. Still excited.
Can you restate the question?
I can. So we know that the discriminant is here under the root. My question to you is, when we have a discriminant under the root here that is positive, why do we end up with 2 real solutions? Right? Because there are 2 solutions, which means 2 points on the x-axis. I guess what I'm asking more, and I'll reframe it, is within the context of this formula, why would a positive value inside here give us two different solutions?
Because there's a plus and or subtract sign.
Because it's plus or minus. Remember with the plus or minus at the very end, we split it. We do the positive branch and the negative branch, right? So when all this is positive, we end up with a positive number, and it's going to be plus or minus. If it's a 0, the plus or minus is kind of negated out, right? It doesn't matter. If it's a negative, we know that it's no real solution, so that positive and negative here doesn't really get worked out either. Okay. All right, that was a little efficient for that, but I think you'll start to see as you work with these. So next, this is in honor of my grandma Liz, who used to give me lottery ticket scratchers for my birthday.
Must be nice.
It was. Yeah. So I don't remember winning anything, but it's a nice gesture. All right, let's go ahead and make this a little more zoomed. All right, what we're going to do is, basically, this is going to be a competition between all the classes. So we have the Matopia Scratcher totals here. And what we're going to do is, we can only pick 5 boxes. If you throw it and get a 2, then I'm going to go to my slips here that have the formula. And I'm going to put that up here. Okay. Now you pull out A, B, and C, right? It's going to tell you how many solutions you have. Because we can only pick 5 of these, 5 boxes, we want to find the ones, and it's just random because it's the lottery ticket. But we're going to find the ones, hopefully, that have the most solutions. So we'll do the first round together, and I hope it starts to click after we see what we're going to do. Who's first? Who's a scratcher? Who has a quarter?
I know.
Oh, I know.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, go for it. Oh! Should we round it to 2?
Yeah.
All right, that's a 2. All right, here we go. First off, what are my A, B, and C values? A is?
1.
B is?
3.
C?
10.
10. Now you have your A, B, and C. Go to your discriminant figure out if it ends up being positive, negative, or 0, and that's going to tell me how many solutions. So this is classwork. Go ahead and keep writing. On those notes is fine. I'll just hand check it. That's fine. All right. So we're plugging it into this discriminant. See how many solutions we get. All right, Jay.
Yes.
All right. So first you find A, B, and C. You plug it in. Square that B value. Minus 4 times A times C. All right, we want to get through all 5 rounds. We're pretty lucky in here. All right, check with your neighbor if you're finishing up. Double check. How many solutions? That's the question. So you're asking how many solutions you get. You know how many solutions based on, is your answer to what we just did positive? Is it 0, or does it end up being negative? Negative? All right. Raise your hand if you got negative. The discriminant is negative. Yeah? Okay, good. And what does that mean? No real solution. So that's where you just did that work. I want you underneath to write no real solutions so that we know how many solutions we had. So unfortunately, period 1 to start, we got a 0 to start. That's okay. How could you know? It's a lottery ticket. All right, who's next? Go and pick someone. Anton? There? Can you hit it from that angle? Oh, 4.
Run it to 4.
That was definitely close.
I hit the 4 with 4.
You did. All right. All right, 4 is coming up. Let's do it quick. Here we go.
Yeah.
X squared plus 2x plus 1. First find A, B, and C, and then go ahead and see if you can get that discriminant. You start to see this is, you don't have to solve, so it's just plugging it in. That's always the discriminant we're going to use. All right. When you're done, double check with your neighbor. Try to keep it quiet so others can still try it. All right, we're doing good. We've got 10 more minutes. Really confused? Call me over. Okay. So make sure that you're multiplying the 4 times the A times the C. Multiply that all together. Square the B and then subtract those. Got it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to just call it out. Raise your hand if you got no real solutions. Okay, raise your hand if you got 1 solution. Raise your hand if you got 2 solutions. All right, so we all got 1 solution. All right, good. Change it up. Now we have 1. Woo. All right, let's see, Jay, you're going to pick someone else. Okay. Go for it. All right, what's that round to?
3.
Thanks, guys.
Got you. You belong here. A, B, and C.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So A, B, and C. You're confused on it. What's our A? 4. What's our C? What's our B? Good. You got it. All right, work it out. What do you get? Okay. Start to see how maybe you're getting a pattern on how you're going to approach the problem. So make your own process. A few more moments. Go ahead and put the answer you think it is. No solutions. 1, 2. All right, check with your neighbor. Looks like a lot of folks are getting it. Check with your neighbor. Dang it. Yeah. Discriminant isn't tricky. And we see what it's for, right? It's common. Great. All right, raise your hand if you have no real solutions. Raise your hand if you have one solution. Raise your hand if you have 2 solutions. All right, so again, no real solutions for this one. So we don't get to add a point. That's okay. You don't always win with scratchers. TK, who's next? Maybe. I don't know. Actually, I don't remember how I put them up.
Billy.
Oh, we got one.
Billy.
Yeah.
All right, Billy. Billy Madison?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, what was that?
7.
7. Shampoo is better. Shampoo. All right.
They're like 7.
Close. All right, here we go. A, B, and C. See how refined you can make your process for this. What are you combining first? Everybody see that? Kayla, you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, man. All right, we got about another 30 seconds on this one. I'm going to write number of solutions or whatnot. Okay, go to matinee. No, it's back. All right, good deal. Raise your hand if you have no real solutions. No real solutions, raise your hand. No. Raise your hand if you have 1 solution. Raise your hand if you have 2 solutions. Everybody. Yes. All right, we got 2 on the board. All right, we have 1 last box. Billy, who's going to do it? Noah. I think you gotta come more this way unless you want to try it. You got that angle? How about like behind TK, like that on the spot? I don't think curveballs. Way to go. Oh! 2? No, we can't do 2 again. Once you scratch it, you can't scratch it again.
Wow.
Are you partial?
No,
Honda's a picture.
Oh, really?
I'm the outfit.
Ooh, round up 5? 5. All right, here we go. Maybe this is the big one. All right. All right, it's up. Hey, we can't have a real geography on it. I wasn't really. Yeah, it wasn't a joke. She's studying her geography. Geographer. All right, number 5. What is that one? Oh.
I left him hanging.
I was like, turn around, I was like,
Yeah. High five. Oh, no?
If you're eating 6 pizzas, we're never gonna get the end of it.
I think you're right.
I think we should destroy
But
it.
did you make it with luncheon?
I haven't recorded enough in their class.
Well, I'm gonna make sure that they know that.
You wonder why.
Oh, never figured it out. All right, here we go. All right, raise your hand if there's no real solutions. Raise your hand if there's one real solution. Raise your hand if there's two. Okay, good. One real solution. So period 1 has a total of 4 solutions. All right. Should have had a prize, huh?
Yeah.
I guess it could have been the max of
A Mac?
max.
Like the first.
There could have been, let's see, 4. You could have got 7. 7 is the max. So that's pretty close. All right, I forgot to do this example problem, so I'm just going to do it on the board here. Just follow along or help me. What's A value here? A value?
1.
B value?
-3.
C value?
-2.
Okay, what am I going to put in for my B?
-3 squared.
Good, -3 squared minus?
-4. Parentheses 1 and negative parentheses -2.
Okay, whoop. Hello. This, we get 9. -4 times 1? -4 times -2.
8.
All together?
17.
17, so we know that it's positive, so we know how many solutions?
2 resolutions.
2. 2 solutions. Is that quick? Pretty easy process, right? Pretty easy process. All right, that concludes the video for today.
God bless.
God bless. Any shout outs? Anybody have a shout out? It's Friday.
Shout out to my mucus.
To your what?
Shout
Your
out my
mucus?
Yeah.
You need a tissue?
No. I thought they shout out my mucus sometimes.
Okay, hey. It helps us. I mean, lymph system.
You need to say the whole line, bro.
Maybe don't say the whole line. All right. Don't forget, what number gets a package of Oreos? What
737.
So they'll be going stale in my closet for 3 years. That's cool.
You said 1,
1, 2, 3. Yeah. 123rd gets Oreos.
I've never subscribed, but I will.
You will now. At the end of the last day of school.
And then, I'm gonna have a live. And then after I get the.
Yeah. All right, 123rd Oreos.